Hi guys, are we ready for the next section of this problem? Awesome. Okay, so the table and the information on top is the same, so we're gonna focus basically on the section below. So I'm gonna check this information and says which year had the biggest difference. I'm gonna underline that. Which year had the biggest difference from the lowest. I'm gonna put that in orange. From the lowest to highest, and on that one I'm gonna put 2. And what is the difference? Okay, I'm gonna go back to my red. And what is the difference? I did circle or underline. Sometimes I just highlight, depending on the question. I did underline, or sometimes I can just combine circle or underline with highlight. We're gonna box the question, and the question is year with biggest difference from lowest to highest, and what is the difference. Okay, kind of like a lot of information. I did box, and my next step is gonna be elaborate, and to elaborate in this case, because I have differences in temperature, I'm gonna use number lines. Number lines are very useful to see differences between negatives and positives. Okay, so I will have 4 number lines because I'm gonna have to find which of the choices really represents the right value. Okay, so I'm gonna get started with option F. I'm gonna say this is gonna be my F, G, H, and J. Okay, so I'm gonna look at option F first, and it says look at 1935. And 1935 is here, so I'm gonna say, okay, let me look. This is my F, and then they and this choice they said that there was a difference of 35, and I'm gonna put that in pink. 35 difference. Okay, so I'm gonna focus on 1935 for this one right here, and 1935 had a lowest temperature of -71, and the highest temperature, I'm using this one here, of 106. So I'm gonna put those numbers in my number line, and I'm gonna say, okay, so it was -71 probably here. Remember, these are only estimations, it's not really the numbers. And then the other one is 106, but that one gives me an idea, because I know the other one is from 0 towards the right because it's positive and it's more than 71, so the distance should be more. So the difference between those two should be all this distance in here, right? Okay, good. Let's look at letter G. And letter G says in 1955. So then this one is gonna be our G. And then they believe that the difference was 1 and 10. And then I'm gonna look at that year, that is 1955, which is right here. And for 1955, the lowest temperature is 9 degrees, and the highest temperature is 101. So if I look on my number line, 9 degrees is still positive, so that should be from 0 towards the right, so probably here. It's just an estimation. And then 101, that's a lot of space in between those two, probably here, 101. So this is the distance between those two. So far, look at F and look at G. Which of those two do you believe has the greatest difference? Okay, that's our question for you. Now we're gonna look at choice H. And for choice H, we have 1935, and we already did 1935. So then basically what we're gonna do for choice H, we're gonna look at whatever work we get for F. So I'm gonna look at these two. And for choice J, it says 1923, just this one here, and it says the difference was 180. That's 1923. So I'm gonna come to J and I'm gonna look for the lowest value. In 1923, the lowest value is negative 66. Probably here. This should be our 0. And then in the same year, 1923, the highest was 104. Probably here. And again, here, I'm gonna look at the difference of those two. Okay, just by looking at these pictures, we're gonna do elimination because it's reasonable to do elimination. We have all the choices. We needed to look at all the choices. They wanted for us to compare different choices. So if we look at this, guys, which of these doesn't have the largest difference? So far, one that we can eliminate is F. If you notice, it didn't start on the negative. So F and J, they did start on the negative side. So they have all the negative distance plus all the positive. And also on the positive, see, which is the lowest value? 101, 104, or 106? It's 101. So that means then that this pink section it reaches even to a smaller value. So definitely G is not having the biggest difference. And then I will be between F, H, and J. And so far I can look at F and J and see the distance from 0 towards the left on F reaches up to negative 71. But on choice J, the distance goes from 0 to negative 66. So which one has more distance on the negative side? F, because it reaches up to 71 and this one barely up to 66. Then also on the right side, F reaches up to 106, but J only reaches until 104. So what value is higher, guys? 106. Great. In that case, then J is not going to be also our answer. Now I'm going to be looking at F and H, and I'm just going to compare the difference for those two values, and I'm going to do my operations on the side. So the distance from 0 towards this value is 106, and the distance from 0 towards this value is 71. So yes, we're gonna put together those two distances so we can find all the space that we highlighted in pink. The first one is from 0 towards 106, and the second one is from 0 towards negative 71. But in this case, we're just putting the distance together, which is the same as finding the absolute value of negative 71. Absolute value of negative 71, positive 71. Great. And that's what I made it positive in here. Help me, please. 6 plus 1, 7. 0 plus 7, 7. 1 plus nothing, 1. So the difference really is 177 degrees. And then, guys, this should be the difference. And if I look at the answer choices, the only one that has that difference, we said that F and H will be the same graph, but the actual difference is 177. So this is our answer. And guys, thank you so much for following the explanation, and we got this one out of the way. Thank you.